I'm here with Mr. Peter Sparks from Symantec. Peter, can you tell me a little bit about Symantec's security services?
Yes, so Symantec offers a number of advanced security services across the globe, including APJ. The first is our managed security services. At the moment, we're collecting about 275 billion logs of those customers, creating 40,000 security events. 4,000 of them are critical that we escalate to our customers. So that shows you the size and scale of our managed security services business. We also have our deep site intelligence services, and we have a number of different products, but it all uses the largest global intelligence, civilian global intelligence network worldwide. And we collect information off our email systems, our endpoint systems, as well as our network systems like our MSS, to give detailed intelligence to customers as well. Yesterday we also launched our incident response services in APJ. And this is really what customers are demanding, is incident response and forensic services. So if they have a major global event, then they can escalate to Symantec for assistance. And last of all, one of the challenges we see in security is training. So mid-year we're going to be launching our simulation services, where we can use to train organisations, both individually and the collective, into dealing with these types of, and training on these types of security threats.
So what do you see as the biggest challenges for Symantec at the moment?
So one of the biggest challenges is that organisations are changing. They're expanding, they're using cloud services, they're using BOIAD, and in the future we're going to see this explosion in IoT devices. You know, car manufacturers, health, are all looking at using IoT, which creates a huge surface area to protect. And the other challenge is that the threat landscape is getting a lot more difficult for organisations to deal with. So we're seeing threats become more stealthier, more difficult to detect. The speed at which they can act upon is also increasing as well. So companies are looking to Symantec and other organisations to really assist them to protect their organisations.
You mentioned the threats. What are the biggest threats from your perspective?
So today we're about to release our Internet Security Threat Report. This is the 20th edition of this report, and it shows a number of themes. The first one is that the attacks are becoming stealthier, more difficult to detect, and also that they're using campaigns. So they're using things like spear phishing, for instance. 5 out of 6 large organisations in 2014 were hit by a targeted attack. Small businesses are not immune. 30% increase in 2014 in spear phishing attacks. And they're becoming a lot more spear phishing, so it's very hard to detect just by the eye. I think everyone's got the email that everyone laughs at these days, but today it's a lot more researched, it's a lot more targeted, it's against individuals, a lot more harder to detect. Also in 2014 we saw a large increase in vulnerabilities, and I think everyone experienced heartbleed and shell shock. And in 4 hours of Heartbeat being released, we saw a huge spike in activity from the threat actors, and it was all over in a matter of days.
So you've got cooperation with INTERPOL, and I understand cooperation with Europol. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so an example of collaboration is what we did with our industry partners such as Microsoft and Europol, where we took down the remnant bot network in Eastern Europe. And that shows an example of what the future lies in this sort of collaboration.
Peter, thank you very much indeed. It's been a real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.